Welcome to our series on project management. This is the introductory episode. This is produced by Hawksroost Consulting and Virtual CIO Services. For this video, in the first 5 to 8 minutes of your time you're going to spend with us, I'm going to go over 4 topics. First of all, who is Jay Hawkinson? What this series of videos is all about, why project management is important and why you should care, and a discussion on what methodologies we should be using. Who is Jay Hawkinson? Jay Hawkinson is me. I've been in the IT industry for over 35 years. I've been involved in all aspects from IT, from software engineering all the way through to executive management. I've run several PMOs. I've done many things with many companies, always try to drive them to get better value out of their IT. I've been involved in many industries: education, manufacturing, engineering, field services, and healthcare are a few. I found that in most cases, the ideas on project management are the same, but there is some unique aspects, which we'll cover in later videos, that the industry does impact. I'm also the CIO and Chief Architect of Hawksroost Consulting and VTCIO, and it's our hope that these videos that we produce will at least help you learn something on where project management is and how to make it more effective for you. What the series is about. Project management comes in different forms. There's operational project management. For example, you have a data center built out that's going on. This is very operational. I'm not as much focusing on that in this series, though that will be a part of what we discuss. But really, I'm talking about the other side, the value creation and innovation side, the things that really move the needle within the business. Projects are critical for that aspect. So I'm going to spend most of my time talking about value creation, innovation side, but we'll also get into the operational side and how these are related. The series will go over practical project management and some primary methodologies and what it takes to be successful. There's lots of theories out there, and I love theories, but really it doesn't matter what the theory says. It means what you can do in practice. I'm a very practical person, have always been, and I've always been able to take those 20,000 ideas and bring it into something that's really workable. That's what we're going to talk about on these videos. This series is not a deep dive into that one singular right way of doing project management. It just doesn't exist. There are many people who believe that the projects can only be done in a particular fashion. My experience says that there's the right methodology for the right situation. And we're going to discuss what that means so that you can understand what's the right approach given a right type of situation. So why project management is important? As mentioned before, projects are really crucial to value creation and innovation, especially in IT. These are usually the things that get the largest investment in IT and have an expected return. No one expects the ongoing and keeping the lights on support to have a return. This is just something we have to do. Money is set aside to do it, and that's it. That's all great, but this doesn't move the needle. This doesn't change what matters most to the business. It's not going to have a 2 times factor of revenue growth. It's just not going to happen. To do this, you're usually going to have some form of a project. That's why the project themselves is so crucial to companies, so that we can have that value creation. Since there is that investment of money and people, projects also have a lot of visibility, and they have a lot of people that get interested because of the massive business value they're expecting to get. You've had projects where people think they're going to make millions of dollars a year just by implementing this small piece, and it's very possible. But because of this, you get a lot of visibility, and you've got a lot of people questioning and looking at and wanting to know what's going on. That's why managing the project is critical. If you've worked in a corporate environment at all, and you've got something that's important to the CEO, if you're not managing it, if you're not aware of what's going on, be able to answer that question, your CEO is not going to like you very much. It's that simple. Now, all that said about projects and why that part is important, even with broader project management practices, over 70% of projects fail. And big projects fail over 90% of the time. This means even though we're managing the project in a way that should be effective, they fail. a lot. And just imagine if we did not do project management, what that percentage of failure would be. It'd be much greater than what it is today. Still, as we go through these things and as we go through the different parts of the videos, there are some core reasons why projects fail, and we can address these and make it much more successful. What methodology should we use? This goes back to the point that I was saying before. There are many believers that think that there's one project management methodology that is better for us. So agile means we're going to work with the business, produce value in very short sprint fashions before we get it done. In the waterfall world, we spend all the time upfront, or most of the time upfront, gathering requirements, understanding exactly what the business needs, and then produce it and have them test it and make sure that it meets the needs that they want, and then we're done. Both of these sides hate each other. More or less, the agile side says, well, waterfall doesn't work because things change in business, and if you don't take into account a better change management methodology, you're going to fail. Absolutely a true statement. The waterfall people will say, well, without understanding the scope, understanding the details of what you're doing, how are you going to give that schedule, that date, that time, that budget figure to our CEO who's looking at this and doesn't really care about agile? He just cares when he's going to get the value out of this particular piece. There are times where agile is the right approach. There are times where waterfall is the right approach, and the specific methodologies, which we'll go over. So there is a better methodology for a given project, considering the subject, the time to deliver, organization makeup, and a whole bunch of factors. And that's what we're going to talk about during these videos. But before we get into any of that, the first step is to understand and avoid the most common mistakes, which is what our next video is about. The next video will be talking about common mistakes that I've seen on almost all projects and how we can avoid them. It'll be an interesting video. There'll be more than I'm sure I can cover in there on common mistakes, but we'll cover the big ones and things that hopefully will make a difference to your project management tomorrow. Just a little blurb on Hawksroost Consulting and Virtual CIO. Hawksroost Consulting is a technical consulting organization helping companies with their needs on Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Salesforce, and Oracle, and many other IDIDs. VTCIO is the virtual CIO arm of Hawksroost Consulting. We focus on helping companies on project management, IT optimization, and digital transformation. Thanks for listening. We'll carry on more on our next video, where we'll again go over the common mistakes and how to avoid them.